I gotta say, this is cool. And like, this is untapped territory that we haven't been in yet. Couple things.
Action.
Crack-a-lack, say some weird shit.
Crack, boom.
I think I do that
Crack,
because it actually
crack,
loosens
stop.
me up.
My fart. Okay.
You,
I did.
You straight? You
Yeah.
straight? Took a big deuce today. Big old deuce.
I'm going to take one after this podcast.
Welcome back, y'all. I'm Ethan, also known as Sunshiami, artist, engineer, producer, full-time traveling creator. Who am I sitting next to?
I am Sunshiami's little brother. My name is Aiden, a.k.a. Baltz. I am a singer-songwriter and a content creator. And yeah.
Crazy. Okay, off rip. We are in the same space together, and that shit is so tough.
For the first time.
For the first time. Since we had the idea to do the podcast, this is literally the first time that we get to be in the same space and share each other's energy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is cool because it's, for me, I'm noticing it's a bit uncomfortable because we're in the same fucking space and we've never had this sort of setup where the mics are here capturing, but it's really still the same idea and principle as the conversations. So anybody that switched from a remote podcast to like doing it in person, there's two different feels to it. I'm already noticing.
Yeah.
Because now we get to like actually feed off each other's energy in the room and not just like where we're at, where you're at. It's a remote capture.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're in the same fucking space right now.
Dude.
You're in California, dog.
Yes, I made the trip out to California. We talked about it a little bit on our previous episodes. I made it. We're here. But yes,
Insane.
You got a good point. Like it's one thing, it's awesome getting to see you because anytime I get to hang out with you, it is just amazing. And it always makes me happy to see you and spend time with you. But the difference from switching from remote podcasting to in person is definitely, there is a huge difference. Like I could smack you right now if I wanted
dap
to.
up.
We can dap up.
We can dap up and this shit is real.
But
Like there's
yeah.
a physical side to it. Like we can literally like it introduces a whole nother layer to the vibe and element of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the coolest part. You know what I'm saying? Like we actually get to dap up and shit.
And if I could
Come
dap
on.
up the audience right now, I would too.
Yeah, we throw you one. We throw you some shit. Come on. Boing.
But what are we about to get into today? What do you feel like talking about? What do you feel like chit-chatting about? We can take this any direction. What are you feeling?
Yeah, for me personally, I think I've been on this a little bit here, and it's kind of deep.
Okay.
You know, it's just it's the deep shot quick, and y'all will get to learn like this is just natural. I just be thinking about shit like this a lot, but I want to know what your dream is in life. Like, what is your dream? What does your ideal life look like? What does it feel like?
Ooh, deep question. So many different ideas of what my dream is. And I think the crazy thing about your dreams is they constantly change. And maybe not from day to day, but from year to year, your dream can look completely different than what it was last year. And so my dream, in more of a broad answer, I'd say, is to just be happy and not necessarily have, as an older version of me, as a grandpa Baltz. I don't want to look back and be like, dang, I really wish I would have did this and this. Or I am regretful that I didn't, talk to people more. So I think more so my dream is just to do my absolute best to reach my potential. And whether that's in my relationships, whether that's my career goals, a family, all those things, I want to do my absolute best to have the dreams that I have in mind. Like I said, so I mean, I want to have a family at some point for sure. That's an absolute dream.
Do you picture boys or girls in the family? Because I know if you picture a family, I know you've visualized at some level or some way, shape, or form. If it's like 3 boys, 2 girls, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the combo, or is it one? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it too much. I more so put thought into like how I would be as a girl dad or a boy dad. And like my initial reaction is I want to be a boy dad just because I want to have like a little best bud and like teach him all the sports and like all the little things that I love and just show him like all the things that I like, because I know we'll connect with those things. But at the same time, I'm like, hold on, I feel like being a girl dad would be awesome, dude. Absolutely sweet. Because me and Ethan, we were raised in a family. We also have one older brother that's older than both of us, Mike. Yeah. So we were raised in a household where we each had 2 brothers. So there's 3 of us. And it's all boys. I mean, dad was there, mom was there. And mom, I feel like she would have been a really good girl mom, I feel like. But she was a great boy mom too.
Yeah, she get it as a boy mom, but I feel like we overran her. Like,
right, there was just boy everywhere.
Like something that me and Mac talk about is having like the balance. Like right now, it might sound goofy to the people that don't love dogs the same way we do, but me and Mac, feminine, masculine, Boston Lua, male, female dogs, and it's like there's something that feels good about the balance. And I think in any social setting, when let's say there's four men, 4 women, that usually creates a good balance.
For sure.
If there's 4 males, 1 girl, it's just out of whack. Like, there's too much masculine energy swirling around, probably much less feminine energy, and vice versa. If there's 4 women and 1 man, it's just, again, it's the balance is a little out of whack. But introducing 1 male energy into 4 female feminine energies is better than 4 female energies. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like full feminine with a little bit of masculine, depending on who they are. But yeah, anyway, to me personally, I feel like I'm going to be a girl dad. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I just feel like that's going to be the thing that plays out. Of course, I'm cool if it's a boy or a girl. Either way is just mind-blowing. We already have our first kid name picked out. Real shit. I'm not even going to say it yet.
Okay, I was going to see.
That's some undisclosed shit. But it's going to work for a boy or a girl.
Cool.
And yeah, like there was a time in my life where I thought I was going to be the dad with like 7 girls. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just pictured this crazy life where like I walked through the door and they're like, Daddy, yeah. And they just run and like grab my legs and like jump on me and tackle me and shit. I don't know why I pictured that, but there's just a part of me, I think, that feels like that's going to be the thing. But of course, no idea. Right. That's just what I felt. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it'll be the complete opposite of what you think, or you know, the world just, it's ironic, like the way you have expectations and the way that they're never really like fully met is something that's so cool. But as far as my dreams, like family, I want to travel a lot, make music, and have fun and not be regretful. What would you say are some of your dreams and goals? I feel like those two kind of go hand in hand, like long-term goals and dreams.
For sure. Yeah. And I think it's cool because you and I both are in the places where we allow our dreams to be our goals. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think there's lots of goals, but sometimes they're not always parallel to the dream. Right. And I think in our cases they are. And I think that is literally like, that feels like a part of the dream to me. Yeah. Is the fact that we are pursuing our dreams. That is literally a part of the dream.
That is, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I would say what I have visualized it to look like a little bit. And this has actually happened a little later, but I literally could see like me, like you, and whatever your family looks like years from now, like compound vibes. And I know that's like something people talk about sometimes, but I literally think it'd be so cool to just be surrounded by people that are like-minded, that, you know, share similar loves and ideas and passions, and just to be surrounded by a group of like-minded people that just, like, if I ain't feeling inspired, but you're inspired, that shit's gonna inspire me. You know what I'm saying? And I think being surrounded by people that I just love deeply, and getting to choose that in this life is something I'm like, that's a dream for sure. And I feel like that's kind of spawned over the last couple of years since we've been traveling. Because I'm like, what's important to me? And it's literally connection, creating, and just like the adventurous feeling of meeting those new people, that it's just so serendipitous. You know what I'm saying? On the top of a mountain, when it's me, you, and Kyron, and we meet these like 3 people that are just sitting next to us in Glacier National Park.
Yes.
At this little lookout thing, and it's just like the coolest thing ever, you know. And I just can detail so vividly all the times I've met someone on some sort of trip, and those are the ones that are just like, whoa, like we're still in contact today, with the exception of a few of my brothers that are still in my life. It's like, I think that's a dream, is living on some sort of compound communal vibe. But also there's a lot of the dream that I feel like I'm just living every day, which is getting to create, have a beautiful relationship. We've got a little family with our dogs and things of that nature. What's really fucking cool, like, this is dream shit. Getting to shoot and you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I have these goals and visions, but I think it's just so important to say, a lot of times we're living the dream. Like, when I really step back from all the fucking things that life can be sometimes, stack up as, get lost in, I'm like, I am actually living the dream. You know what I'm saying?
Currently. And I feel like it's so important to remind yourself of that. And because it gets difficult when you are chasing the bigger picture, the future, that goal that you have in mind. It's something that you truly have to like take a step back and remind yourself that you are in a time period of your life where in the future you're going to look back on and be like, dang, like, I really wish I could go back and spend a week in that time period again and have that hunger or have that younger feeling body or whatever the case is. Like, yes, me, like, I'm in my early 20s. I'm healthy as a human being, and I get to wake up and I get to wake up and work to support myself financially. I get to work on music. I get to have a relationship, and I get to have an awesome mom and dad. I get to love on the dogs. Like, there's just so many things that you can almost lose sight of if you're too focused on getting to a certain destination. And how often have you ever felt like that? And when you do, what are some things that you do to bring yourself back into the present moment and be grateful for the things that you have around you?
For sure. Probably the biggest one that I do every single day is I literally cannot take a bite of food without stopping before to take a breath, a prayer, something just to say thank you. And I kind of built this habit probably, maybe 5 years ago. But as, having done it, it's like anytime I'm about to eat food, that is always the time to, like, who am I sharing the food with? Who am I around? Who sourced the food? Who grew the food? Like, the money that it took to buy the food. just kind of like tracing it down, like all the places it's come from to arrive into like a grocery store and just to be able to go by. And then now we're eating it. That's probably the biggest one that's just every day. But then also I would say just, again, like sitting in stillness, just like going outside without a phone and looking and taking in and actually seeing where it is we're at. You know what I'm saying? And literally just being like, I think thank you and gratitude is some of the strongest forces in the world. To have gratitude usually pulls me into my body pretty quick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm like, yo, this shit is beautiful. When I say that, it's also an experience where I'm showing gratitude, but it also like pulls me into it. Because if I'm anywhere else in my mind, when I go, this is amazing, it's like reaffirming to my mind that this is the place to be. There's nowhere else to be. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of the times when I catch myself in those pockets where I'm maybe a little imaginative, and when I say imaginative, something I learned in Thailand was the practice of literally acknowledging what is actually there. So for example, if my mind is wandering and I say I'm sitting next to a human, like the most basic form, not even with the titles, anything. I am next to a human. Great. I see a tree. Perfect. I'm not telling stories. And that's a Buddhist practice of just pulling in, the presence back into the body.
Right.
It's super effective. If I ever feel anxious, acknowledging the bird as it flies by, but not telling a story. You know what I'm saying? Literally just that bird is flying. There's no story. It's straight to the point. It's factual. But what it does is it gives the mind something to grab. And basically, I also have this analogy where it's like stepping in to supervise a factory full of workers that when we aren't supervising, they're just going to produce thoughts endlessly. But when you interject a thought, like that's a tree. The wind blew against my skin. It starts to, you're now stepping into the factory and you're like, y'all ain't in charge. Here's a couple thoughts to interject. And then as that happens, it starts to create it slows it all down, the production line. Because I always picture like these like Despicable Me minions. They're like, Sean.
Each one's its own little anxiety ball thought.
Yeah. Or like the Disney movie Soul. I think it's called Soul. Or no, not Soul.
Inside Out.
Yeah, Inside Out with all the emotions. You know what I'm saying? Where they're just like doing whatever when they get carried away, but when it all comes together, it's just grounding. But yeah, I would say that's a couple for me. Do you have any practices that sort of, almost like zoom you back in to where you're actually at in life? Because I feel like it's like a zoom out, zoom in thing.
Yeah.
When I'm, or I should say when I'm too zoomed in is when it's like I don't see all the things that I have.
Right.
I'm only focused on that thing. But when I zoom out, that's when I'm like, oh, wow.
Yes.
This is beautiful. Kind of like smelling the flowers, What is something that you do to sort of bring you back into that space of gratitude or just seeing what you got in your life?
I haven't really built any habits that I can just go to that pull me directly in. There's just little moments that I have throughout my day. I feel like a lot of the times it's whenever for example, if I leave work and I go into my car, I sit down in my car, and almost every time I'll start my car, like get the AC going if it's hot or whatever, and I just sit there with my eyes closed for a little bit. And those are always moments that I have where it pulls me back into my body. I think about how grateful I am, like just taking a moment to myself and being grateful for like my car, like transport. And that is a huge one. Like being able to get from point A to point B reliably is something that I'm super grateful for. And But yeah, that's always one that I've kind of noticed that I do is in the car, like whenever I'm by myself. And then really it'll just be random points in my day. Like if I just have a break in time where I'm not really like on my phone, focused on something. In the shower is another one that I always feel a lot of gratitude for a shower, being able to clean myself and take care of my body and my skin and throw some nice conditioner on my dry ass head, dude. That's always something that I'm grateful for every time I take a shower. And not just for taking the shower, but I just feel grateful that I'm alive. I am able to feel and have all of my senses. And that is always something that kind of zooms me out is, yeah, taking a shower, sitting in the car after like a long day. And food. I don't necessarily take a moment before I eat to close my eyes and be thankful and have that habit. But bro, when I'm eating, most of the time, if I'm chewing, I'll close my eyes and just engulf myself in the taste, like how my body feels where I'm sitting. And that's always a good break from my busy day, is just sitting down, devouring some food and just being present in it and not really thinking about what's going on, unless I'm like eating with somebody. Sure. Then obviously like I'm not going to be fully just cheeseburger.
I do that. Hey, I for sure get lost in the sauce when it's just a good ass burger and that shit is hitting. And have you ever seen, I'm gonna make another movie reference, but Moana, the
I don't
Disney
think
movie.
I've ever seen it all the way through.
Okay, there's a great point in there that the character that The Rock plays, the thunder god, whatever his name is, when he's eating, he like checks Moana a couple times, or one of the characters might be Moana, but he just basically makes the point that it's like the ultimate service to the food and everything in line with how that food arrived on our plates to be fully present when we eat. And I feel like it's so hard for me to not be fully present because it's such a powerful experience to eat food. It is a crazy experience. And I want to ask you another question that kind of ties into like having gratitude, zooming in, zooming out. Do you have any regrets? Like anything that you just regret or that you would go back and change in your life?
Ooh. I don't really like, I don't typically look at them as regrets. There's just kind of things that I wish I would have did more or less, I feel like. But yeah, because I'll never be regretful for what's taking place and everything that happened to get me to where I am right now. I'm very happy that everything did take place, and I realized that there needs to be change in certain areas. So I don't feel regretful for a lot of things, really ever. But there are some things that I wish I would have put more energy into sooner or realized sooner. And one of them that sticks out a lot is showing my appreciation, literally what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And more specifically to certain people. Because when I was younger, I didn't really understand that concept and how beneficial it not only is for yourself, but for the other person too. And I think it takes people to show gratitude to you to really understand how good it can feel. But then when you start building a habit of showing gratitude to other people, or really just giving compliments to other people, like strangers, you start to learn, because I feel like those kind of go hand in hand, showing gratitude and then giving compliments. Those are both something that I wish I would have started doing a lot sooner. And because when I was a young lad in high school or like middle school, I was super antisocial, and I just internalized almost every single thought. And a lot of my thoughts are how I like something about somebody, or like, dang, that person's haircut's really cool, or their outfit is crazy. Like, I love those jeans that guy has on. And when I started to externalize those thoughts, even if it is a complete stranger, dude, I learned how powerful it was to let those thoughts out, because it truly is just positive energy. And even if the person is thrown off by the compliment or the gratitude you're showing, they'll probably go home a little later in the day, get ready to like put their PJs on and take those jeans off that they got a compliment on, and been like, yo, I got a compliment on these today, even if they reacted in a weird way or it kind of threw them off. So that's one thing I wish I started doing sooner, is giving strangers compliments whenever I have the thought or the idea in my head that I like something about somebody random, and then also showing gratitude to like mom and dad, to you, to family, to anybody that's been in my life that has helped me, like coaches in baseball or basketball or football. And because I truly do have so much gratitude inside of me, and I just didn't really express it when I was younger.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's it can be a little scary, I think, especially if it's, been compartmentalized for so long. And then I'm probably the first time you ever did it, it probably wasn't the most comfortable thing.
Not at all.
You know what I'm
Super
saying?
uncomfortable.
And it's interesting because, like we think about things that we might regret, or the way things could have been or shoulda, woulda, coulda. And, I want to make this point because let's say you, in middle school, you were already just throwing out compliments. You were doing that. You wouldn't be where you are at today feeling this way. Like, dang, now I know how important it is. Because if you were just doing it, it would be normal.
Yeah.
And I kind of relate this to this one question I asked this girl at one point. This girl I was talking to years back, I was feeling frustrated, but I was like, man, why can't every interaction I have be magical? And she was like, well, then it would be normal.
Right.
I was like, damn. I was like, okay. And that just hit me so clearly, because it reminded me of the magic of the mundane, just like the magic in the super adventurous things that pop off extremely fast, like the interactions that you or I may have where it's just like, it feels like I've known you for 7 years. Those kind of feelings. Mm-hmm. But she made the point, and I was just like, wow, that's so real. Without normalcy, magic doesn't exist, because magic would be normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it creates this, just the balance.
Uh-huh.
Because without all the normal interactions, I wouldn't arrive in the place of ecstasy when it's the magic ones. Mm-hmm. And, and it's just sort of this concept and idea to where everything's just how it's supposed to be. And like I said, if you figured that out in middle school, you wouldn't be sitting here right now with me in this same facet, the same way. Literally, that tiny thing could change your whole trajectory of your life. And like that kind of stuff is mind-boggling.
Dude, it's so fun to think about, because simply like a single decision can change the entire trajectory of your life. And it could be the simplest decision, like turning right one street before you usually do. That's it. As simple as it can be. But there's just little intuition things that take place that you can listen to or not listen to, and they can have a huge outcome or a little outcome. And some of the outcomes might not even be noticeable for the small, minute ones, but there truly are so many things looking back that happened to you and I that if they didn't happen at that certain moment, or if they just never took place, dude, who knows how different you would be.
Oh, man.
And that's just for like one specific day. Like you could take one event out of your life, one core memory, and say that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And
it's like missing a page out of a brilliant book. You know what I'm saying? It's just, if you rip the page out, you'd be like, wait a minute. Like, your life still might make sense, but if you rip out one of those core memories, it's like there's just a piece missing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we're all these books and like every day we're writing, if everything we ever did was like detailed in writing, which would be fucking nuts, by the way,
It'd be
it'd be
awesome.
so crazy. But it just keeps writing automatically. Like right now, it's like trying to keep up with this conversation. Like, "Hey, shit, slow down, guys." But yeah, any of those things, if they were different, like, it's just the book would not be the same up to this point. That's kind of like what I feel. And that's just a nutty idea. I mean, I think it swims right into the idea and concept that, bro, we're fucking on a floating planet in outer space. Like, all I gotta say is that, and I'm like, oh shit, I thought my shit was big. Like, I thought I took big shits. No, I don't. Go to a different, like, bro, there's 7 fucking, there's billions of people on this planet, you know, and we're sitting here creating this podcast, and it's cool because it can reach billions of people at some point in some way. But at the end of the day, we are on a planet that is in outer space, supposedly. I've only seen pictures and videos, right? You know, because I look up at the stars. What if that was some alien shit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You don't know for real.
we don't actually know because we never touched it. We never, like, been in a rocket ship out there. People have, so we can be like, oh yeah, cool, it's there. I like to think there's an outer space, you know, but we are on this big fucking rock in whatever way, shape, or form, and we're 0.000000001% of humanity.
Yes.
You know, and that's a very humbling thing to realize.
That's something that so humbling, dude. That thought right there has not only humbled me, but created, like, when I first conceptualized that, probably in early high school, like when I was 14, 15 years old, and truly like sat with that thought that we're on a planet that in the grand scheme of things is absolutely puny compared to the rest of the entire universe. And when I conceptualized the fact that my existence is so small and tiny, dude, I felt this void in my stomach, bro. And that thought sat with me for like a couple weeks. And it was like so incredibly horrifying. But once I processed that emotion and I started to realize, like, yo, all this really does not matter, bruh. But at the same time, it matters so much because it's your life. And you have the choice to do certain things or not do certain things. And you have the choice to try and leave a mark or not leave a mark. And no matter what, at the end of the day, all you have is you and your body and your mind and your soul. And that's the cool. It's always like that thought of being so tiny on that little floating rock in outer space. It is terrifying, but also on the flip side, it is the coolest thing ever, bro. Existence is freaking awesome, dude.
It's truly a gift. The fact that we, like, our little spirits or souls were put into these bodies to have an experience of being a human is crazy.
Bro, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, what? It doesn't even make sense. Like, I can't conceptualize it. Like, what factors went into you being spawned onto this earth with your soul into your body? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
What are the odds that I am me? And not, dude, the billions of other people that have existed.
Think about just even the science bit of it, because it's almost a bit metaphysical. There's some science ideas. There's all these different things, but we're gonna get into a very, like, for dummies conversation of how the sperm and the egg fucking wind up creating, the embryo and all these terms, that I could be butchering. Let me know in the comments. The sperm and the egg, like, bro, there's like a bazillion little things that are going on when sex happens. The sperm and the egg, all these different things enter into each other. There's so many components scientifically like that we can actually measure. But then the idea of the spirit, the soul, the unidentifiable, identifiable spirit that we can all say that there's like some level of spirit. When we close our eyes, we still see. That's not my eyes, right? The eyes are a part of a human body. When I close my eyes, I can imagine, what is that? That exists in a different dimension realm. So it's like, okay, then I can inquire that there's some level of like existence beyond the human body, whatever that looks like. Tons of ideas. But the fact that, like, and this is almost like a kind of a fun way to imagine it, but I picture this big pool of consciousness, these souls, these spirits. And, we've seen all the movies where like the souls return and you see them all flying. It's like, picture something like that, like these little, like, just drops of water in this huge body of water that's just infinite. Somehow, some way, there was a pew, phew, Ethan, right? Aiden. And it's like, we get these names, which are just names that our parents were given. But the spirit and the souls that exist in these bodies that have been formed to fit and be disguised as these humans, which can be very deceiving. Because at the end of the day, like I said, when we close our eyes, what do you actually see? When it's dead silent, when the senses are gone and depleted, what is there? And the fact that we wound up in these bodies to potentially be living our third life, our fourth life, or this is our one and only life, or there's all these ideas that are really cool and fascinating. And it is unreal that we are living a human experience. We could have been a fucking turtle, like an ant, like a toad, and maybe we were. I don't have the consciousness to know that. I personally don't. Right. I can't intellectually be like, oh yeah, that's it. Because it's a metaphysical idea that there's reincarnation, there's past lives. All I know is that there is a spirit. There's a spirit that I call God that I'm deeply connected to. And that's about it, buddy. That's about fucking it. When we die, let's go here. What do you visualize being death? Which is something, like you just said, like being a human is fucking awesome. Probably the biggest thing, the biggest fear on the planet across every human, whether you've done work on this or not, is death. What is your idea of death? How do you feel about death?
Dude, I have no idea. Like, nobody has an idea of what it's like. And we're all going to experience it at some point, which is the craziest thing. Like that, there's nothing else in life that we all as humans experience that no one knows how it's going to be. That is the only thing. Literally the only thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I truly don't know. So I'm still afraid of death right now, currently. And I think that recently I've just came to terms with using that fear as something that can empower me instead of hold me back from doing a lot of the things that I want to do. And channeling the fear or the uncomfortableness of that thought of dying to use that and push me to motivate me and accomplish the things that I want to do. And in turn, I feel as I am continuing to strive towards my goals, the more that I do that and the more that I become happy with the things that I've done and the effort that I put into my day-to-day life, the more that I feel I can accept death. And that whole realization happened pretty recently, and life is awesome and death is an absolute mystery, and literally no one knows when it's going to come. So just using that as something that can feel you, to me, it seems like the only real option. Like it's just sitting somewhere. We don't know where it's at. It could pull up at any moment.
Any moment.
So, and to anybody. And I think knowing that is important, but letting that consume you can also be really, really bad for you. And it has been bad for me before, for my mental health and everything. So yeah, that's kind of my like standpoint on it. To think about like the things that could happen after death, like I usually go towards like the worst possible scenario in my mind. Like right now as a 23-year-old, like where I sit right now, like the scariest, worst possible scenario to me is everything's gone. You don't have a consciousness. It's just you die and there's nothing else that happens. Like you can't even conceptualize after death anything. Like it's just gone.
Well, and I feel like it's almost like the what do you call it? What's the word? But like the hindrance of man, you know what I'm saying? Is our intellect can't process zero. Like actually not even zero, but gone. Like
you can't,
nothingness.
You can't
not
think.
even the idea of nothingness, right? Like it's just zero, but it can't even be called zero because there's no intellect to call it zero.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
trying to conceptualize that can make you feel
it's
voidless,
beyond intellect.
Like,
it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's an impossible thing to say with language because like in that realm there is no, like to me there's no language, there's no human construct. And if all we know is human construct, it's like whoa. That's why I feel like there's so much fear around it. Because our intellect cannot process beyond what our intellect is. You know what I'm saying? Our intellect exists in the human. Death is something that, as far as we know, the human is done, right? Heartbeat's done, brain's done. The part of me that's like, death sounds similar to falling asleep a little bit when you don't dream.
Yeah, no dreams.
To me, I'm not sure that's scary because you just, that's it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even wake up. Like if we went to sleep, never woke up, we would never know.
Yeah, there's no
you know
time.
What I'm saying?
There's no feeling of time passing. There's no consciousness of hearing something or feeling something on your skin. It's just nothingness when you are asleep and completely like knocked out, no dreams.
Yeah.
So
it's like where are we in those moments? Are we closer? Are we in what death is in those moments? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's a place where, as far as we know, we're not conscious. We're not feeling anything. It is completely shut off. Whatever can be activated. Of course, our bodies are still breathing and our hearts are pumping, and our bodies are still working, but our consciousness, which is the thing would say I'm scared, because our bodies aren't scared of death, nor is the thing that is beyond death is scared of death. The only thing that is the thing that can sit here and do math or have a conversation. That's what's afraid of death. And, it gets into this crazy space where it's like, man, I don't feel like I'm fearful of death. I think it just reminds me to make sure I enjoy this because I don't know if there's a reincarnation. I don't know any of that stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, when the time is up, the time is up. It could be tomorrow. It could be when we're 96. We don't get that answer. We don't get to know that. And I feel like because we don't get to know, why not live every day feeling the best? You know what I'm saying? You can feel really shitty all the time, or you can choose to feel great. Which one would most of us rather choose? Even if we feel like we can't choose, to feel good. Like whatever feeling good is for whoever it is, why not choose that, knowing death is going to come for
Right.
all of us.
And
literally every single person that is alive will die. So it's like, why not live to the absolute maximum that we can? Why not? You know what I'm
literally
saying?
why there's you truly have a choice. And I feel like understanding that you do have a choice is so powerful. And to add on to not only choosing whether to be living your best life or the inverse, it also, you have a choice to throw life into other people and or not do it.
For sure.
And I think
sure.
that is just as important as to giving life to yourself. And because I see me in every single human that's on this earth. Like, even if we don't speak the same language, we look completely opposite. It's a 7'2" middle, like, South African woman. Like, no matter how different they are from me, it can be the complete opposite. I still see me in every person that's around.
So far.
And that is something that helps me give life to other people. Because if I see a version of me walking around and they look a little sad, they look a little anxious, they look a little this, that, whatever, no matter how they seem, you have an option to go up to them and interact with them, however that is. And
every time on some NPC shit, as y'all like to say, like
little bots.
You can go up and press A on any person that you've ever seen in your life and say something.
Yeah. And that's a good point. This man right here is the ultimate side quest connoisseur. If you are a video game player, you know exactly what a side quest is. But if you're not, I'll break it down real quick. A side quest. This is something that is not it doesn't seem at the utmost importance for whatever the task is that you're doing. For example, so if we're going, I don't know why this one always pops in my head. I talk about going to a grocery store a lot on the podcast.
For sure.
But for example,
you're hungry and shit.
say we're pulling up to the grocery store, me and Ethan, and there is a person. I'll keep it real simple. I don't have to get too detailed. There's somebody else that you pulled up next to in the parking spot is loading their groceries up. It's a grandma. She's like 70 years old. She's moving pretty slow. She's got a full ass cart.
Crick in the back
And everything. And you park next to her. You can go in to the grocery store, get your groceries, come back and leave. And grandma's probably gone. She loaded them groceries up. But there's a side quest there. And you notice it. And you have an option to interact. Which Ethan said earlier, just walk up and press A. That's just a video game reference. It's walking up to this person and saying anything. You can literally walk up and be like, good luck putting your groceries in the car, which would be horrible. That would be like very rude. but truly, you could do anything in that moment. You could ignore it. You can go be disrespectful. You can go walk up and offer to help her put her groceries in the car.
You can be an alien.
You can be an alien.
Anything you want.
You can go just stare at her for 10 seconds and then go walk into the grocery store. Like, you truly have the freedom to do whatever you want to do in that moment. But Ethan will almost always go on that side quest. And I just want to, like, because I don't do side quests like that very often, where I go out of my way from, like, the main objective. And, like, at what point in your life did you find yourself going on these little side quests? Do you even feel like they're side quests? Do you, like,
Oh shit.
How do you determine whether or not you are going to go on that side quest? Do you just say like, F it, like it's going to be fun, let's see what happens? Like, do you look at it as a little game? Like, how do you, what's your whole perspective on that?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's become more common. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel like it's a side quest until I come home and I'm like, hey, Mac. She's like, what took, or it's usually this. She's like, what like you were going to the grocery store, what took you so long? And I'm like, oh, I met Jim and he asked me to move some furniture and shit. Like that's the type of shit I wind up doing often. Like I'll just be talking to some dude and there's like some opportunity or like all of a sudden we're friends and we're like planning a hangout. She's like, where are you? But I feel like they don't feel like side quests until I tell someone else about it because I'm so comfortable with it. But bro, I am the type of person in video games and in life, I'm going to do all the side quests before finishing the main quest because I'm going to be level 99 doing the main quest and just be like, pew, pew, like kill, like with the bosses and shit. You know, that's my play style. And I think that's true in life as well. Like I do all these side quests. So then when I'm on the main quest, it's like, I'm just cruising like this is the cool shit. I like to detour. I like to hit the left when it's like adventure this way, you know, side quest. And it gives you like, it pops up on the map, but the map isn't discovered yet, but you can still go left and do the side quest. Like that's the type of stuff in life that excites me because it's the adventurous. Usually the main quest, I have a map drawn for it.
Right.
You know, like it's all outlined and I can see the path and the route to take. I know what's going to pop up on the way, the enemies, their level, right? On the side quest, there's hidden treasure chests. There's, you know what I'm saying? Like we're using these video game references, but that's just what I feel even in life. You don't know what you're going to get when you walk up to the grandma that's loading her groceries. She's like, oh, thanks, Sonny, and gives you $100 bill. It's like, whoa, all I did was press A on this grandma that just, you know, was doing this thing. It's like, you just never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you go past it, it's gone. Like side quests pop up when you're there, like, and then as soon as you walk away, it like reloads and it's just gone.
Yeah.
So it's for me, there are some that I'll walk past, but there's a place in time when I'm literally conscious of the fact that I can go up to that person and it's going to be a whole thing. Like something's going to happen. And, you know, I think that's easy to say because of course you walk up to anybody that you don't know and you say something's going to happen. Right. But I just like, sometimes I can feel it that I'm like, I got to go say something or press that button to activate this experience, you know, because you just never know who you're speaking to. You never know what's going to come out of it. It could be a lifelong friend. It can be these opportunities that you didn't know existed. Maybe for me, I've been preying on a new opportunity in music. And the person I walk up to is a painter, but her best friend is an awesome producer, whatever, right? Like you just don't know. And I think that part excites me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so awesome. I want to say for everybody watching to your call to action, go on one side quest today. You know what side quests are. We just laid it out for you. You know, you have side quests that pop up in your life and you just ignore them sometimes. Go out of your comfort zone. Talk to a random person. If the side quest has no real reward, that's all right.
That's what side quests are sometimes. Yeah. It like just updates your map. Like there ain't always a reward. Sometimes it's just XP. Sometimes you're just leveling up a little bit. Like your skills are increasing because you walked up and did it. Now, next time you do it, there's going to be a big pot of loot. You don't know what it's going to be. Complete the side quest. Level up. Crush your main quest in this life because we only get one as far as we're concerned. Maybe you feel differently. Leave that in the comments as well. This has been the Baltz Brothers podcast. In the flesh, live and direct.
Person. That's a wrap. See you guys next episode. Pew, 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 pew.